We are back to the Jackrabbit Illustrated podcast here. This is our annual recruiting review. I told you we were going to do it back in December. I said once the season's done, we waited until the portal closed all the way, all the transfers here. Coach Jackson has been busy getting players from all over here and retaining our own guys, maybe the most important thing, right?
That is the most important thing.
Yeah. So Dan, Coach Jackson, how the heck you doing?
Doing awesome. It's been a fun start to the school year. A couple weeks in, seeing the guys working out back together. The break was too long, so I think it was good for everybody to get home and spend some time with their loved ones over the holidays. But it just feels awesome to have everybody back in the building.
Yeah, it's been fun seeing the videos you're cranking out already of the workouts and stuff.
That's all Matt Holland.
Up. So yeah. Oh man,
Matt's always got ideas.
So good to have Matt Holland back. He posted a thread of like his top 5. I don't know how he picked just 5. That was awesome. His videos he created this year.
He did a phenomenal job, and now we've got some more time. Matt didn't get here till late in the summer last year, so with an off season and with him and I just sitting down and coming up with plans and getting creative, it'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, before we get rolling too much here, just have to thank 2 sponsors here, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. Again, if you need something orange for your yard, acreage, business, whatever it is, Kubota is wonderful to work with. John Colley and his crew from one of the 9 locations across South Dakota. Chad and I both have BX 2680s that come in handy during the winter to get that snow out of your yard. So thank you, Kubota. Really appreciate your continued support. And then this is one of our special featured episodes, Northwestern Mutual. Dan, I know you know these guys with Chase and the Lemon Top Challenge and all of that this year. Over $125,000 raised, I think, for Alex's Lemonade Stand nationwide. Both USD with Aiden Bauman and at SDSU Chase Mason, and at Montana State with Taco Dollar. Some really tremendous ambassadors, and raised a lot of money towards children's cancer research. So thank you, Northwestern Mutual, for being the main pusher behind that, as well as sponsoring this podcast for a number of years now. So thank you very much. Look up Chris Schenkel and his team in Sioux Falls for your life insurance needs and retirement savings and any other savings that you may need to do. So thank you, Chris Schenkel and crew.
They're awesome.
Yeah. All right. So Dan, last year we talked to you and you were still kind of getting to know the guys you were bringing in. Like we know that we only talked about the high school kids last year. We didn't talk about the transfer portal at all with you. What's it like? What's it been like having a full cycle to go through the recruiting process again?
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, last year getting here was needing to get to know the guys that were on the team first, that were actually, here and get to know them at a deeper level. And then to try to evaluate your needs by position is really challenging when you haven't got a chance to really evaluate your own team and your players. And so I think, honestly, our plan has went well as a staff. I mean, first year we signed a big class. We had over 40 freshmen that we put together and really signed in February. It's fun to be talking to you about this in January still, and have it pretty well wrapped up. But no, a big class that's really panning out. Those kids are doing a great job. A lot of them redshirted. We had a handful play this year, but their development's been great. Exactly what you want in the first class. So proud of them. And then the transfers, that was just ongoing with the two transfer portal windows and needing to get through spring to know. But was excited about what those guys did. And then the best part about this now is you have the time. And for us, we're going to always look for competitive people that love football, that fit our system, that are going to be able to come in and seamlessly fit into the program. And now with the time, understanding of the rules, the one transfer portal window, we've been really, really efficient, which has been cool.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So the last count we saw, I think someone posted online, was there's still 5,000 kids or something like that left in the portal. Can those kids still sign with the program, this summer, or do they have to go NAI, JUCO? What are their options if they're still in the portal?
No, yeah, the rules are pretty simple. The 2nd to the 16th of January is when they have to enter their name, or they have to email their compliance to go in. And once you're in, you can sign at a program at any time. And that could be 2 days from now, a week from now, after spring ball, summertime. Doesn't matter. The concerning part of that for me is having so many kids in the portal as to what are they going to do this semester? Because most people have started school now, And I know nobody talks about the academics anymore, but we couldn't add a player right now. We're 2 weeks into school. We'd have to get them classes and housing. And so we're done. But my hope is that those kids are able to stay in school at least this semester and be available at the end of the spring, because they can't go back to their last school. Maybe they got to walk on and just take classes. There's rules that prevent them from going to a junior college for this semester and then signing somewhere in May as well, just a 4-3-4 rule. So, I'm hoping that a lot of people that advise these kids to get into the portal explain the rules to them and knew the rules prior to going in. And so, yeah, they can definitely still add. And we'll always be looking as well. We'll build lists of the guys that are still available. I don't feel that we're going to need to add anything to the roster beyond what we just did, but you never know once spring ball ends.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. First, I do want to thank everyone that's tuning in. I know it's the national championship. We talked about that, and we always go up against Sunday Night Football, so we figured it'd be the same routine for a lot of you. You'll have the game on and listening to us, or listen to us down the road. So whatever.
I got the game on in the back. We can do two things at once.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chad, you want to scroll up and let's get to Caden Harney, the quarterback out of Maple Grove. My initial impressions on this kid, Dan, a winner. Maple Grove has been outstanding with him at the helm. And he went this year and competed in that Minnesota Vikings All-Star game and came away as the game MVP. Why did you like Caden?
No, I think exactly what you said. First, when you're evaluating quarterbacks, they got to have an it factor to them. They have to have some winner and some competitiveness and be able to lead others. And Caden definitely embodies those things. And then once you confirm that they're a winner and competitive and can lead others, then we want a guy that can move and is athletic. And Caden's actually a really good baseball player too, so he showed some athleticism there. They'll run the ball with him here at Maple Grove, and he's effective that way. So he's got the athleticism and then a really strong arm. And maybe the most fun thing about Caden is he's barely scratching the surface as to what he'll be, because he's going to put on a ton of weight and get bigger and stronger. He'll get faster as he goes there. But and then a program that we know and trust their coaching staff and the guys that are working with him, at Maple Grove. So he's a special one. We're excited to be able to add him to the class. And his recruiting was fun because he was the only quarterback we offered, and at the time he committed. So, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah, that's great. And you did end up taking a second quarterback. This is a classic Coach Eidsness thing. I don't know if this is going to be your thing too, but we know that Eidsness likes to take 2 quarterbacks a class, a scholarship and a walk-on typically. So Treston Haas, right, from Seward, Nebraska, is the number 4 ranked red zone quarterback in Nebraska. So why do you like Treston?
Yeah, and we'll see year to year will be different on how many we take, but Treston I'm really excited to get Treston, and he was up actually at our team camp this summer. They brought their team there, and Treston had kind of banged his knee up prior to the team camp, and then he was gutting it out for his team. I mean, we're talking in June, a team camp. I mean, it's not, and unfortunately for Treston, he actually got news that he was going to have to miss his senior season. So we're watching his junior year highlights. He had an ACL injury. Charlie Miller, our athletic trainer, was actually the one that diagnosed him when we had him check him out. But in the long run, that's going to make Treston a ton better because he knows how to deal with adversity. But he is big and athletic and a great arm and unbelievable moxie. And, how I am with some of these Nebraska programs. His head coach has been there for a long time, and somebody that I know. He's an unbelievable athlete. He ran an 11 flat 100 meters last year, and he'll be able to come back this year. So he's a good one. Having these 2 kids in your class, we feel really, really good about the future. And I think it's critical you hit on these high school quarterbacks who, you guys are seeing some of the numbers for these college quarterbacks. If they've thrown a touchdown in college, they're getting offered $200,000. So let's get our freshmen and develop them and get our leader from the high school ranks.
Hey, there we go. Man, I did not know that story about him getting hurt at camp. Wow. See,
yeah,
this is the stuff we get on this episode.
Yeah, it was an emotional time for him, and we actually got a chance to go through that with him because he learned about the ACL while he was here. And then I think he really chose us too because he believed that we were supporting him through that and that we still wanted him. I think at that time he had other offers and a lot of interest, but we were recruiting him harder even after the ACL than before.
Oh, cool. That's two good commits for that room. Exciting. Next up, running back, Javion Scott, 6'3", 200 out of Lift for Life Academy Charter School in St. Louis, Missouri. A little bit later in the class compared to some of the guys. Who is this guy?
Yeah, this guy. So Javion, big kid. First of all, he's going to be really big,
Really big.
and explosive. And a lot of people were recruiting him as a linebacker. And we always saw him as a running back. And so just going to different summer camps and things, people were having him do both. And I think he was finding in his senior year, he really wanted to play running back and passionate about that. He was committed to Missouri State at the time, and we just continued to have connection and communication with him. And I think Missouri State was maybe flirting with him at linebacker too, and got him up on an official visit, and he loved the environment. And our fan base does such a good job, and we have official visits on a home game that everybody wants to be a part of it. And so I would expect him to push to play as a freshman. I mean, we're going to have 7 to 8 backs on the roster next year, and that's a position where you can definitely play young guys, especially as you can control personnel groupings and different types of plays that they're in.
Mm-hmm. Cool. He's fun. He's just – I mean, for as big as he is, it's dang explosive, Dan. Man, like, just love it.
He can go. The only thing on his junior day or on his official visit, people were giving him a hard time because he was like in a whole red jumpsuit at our home game, and it was his high school stuff. I mean, he was just wearing his high school team's travel suit or whatever. We made sure we got him some blue for the game to make sure he didn't get heckled in the crowd.
There we go. Hey, all right. Next up, my favorite guy from this class, and one of the things that I love about Coach E being back, Gavin McLaren. Gavin McLaren, fullback from Iowa. Talk about Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin, big guy. Gavin's over 240 already. And he's not, your short 5'11" fullback either. I mean, he's still 6'2", big old freaking head that he likes to use to hit people and wants to run ISO and power. And when I first met him, he was wearing a T-shirt that said "Make fullbacks great again," and he's got that mindset. So I think he provides us a ton of versatility. Definitely as a lead blocker, as a guy that you can line up off the ball as a tight end as well. And then I really think that he's got the athleticism to where, I want to hand him the ball some too, and not just on dives. I mean, be able to get him the ball, get some short yardage plays going, and he'll be a good little chess piece for us and a great special teams player too. But yeah, the Jackrabbit fans are going to love seeing him out there. Another guy that we'll see in terms of getting out there early, but we don't have a ton of depth at that position as we build it back, and he's kind of the guy that we're starting with officially. At that position that we've had a chance to recruit for now the course of a year. But he's a good one.
Sounds good. All right, this next position group I'm pretty excited about here. Your wide receiver class was tremendous. This class was tremendous. We talked on signing day, and you could have a pretty dang good 4x1 or 4x2 relay team here. I believe this is Jace Woods right here that we're catching. I know he was banged up his senior year, but talk about Jace a little bit.
Receiver class as a whole is awesome. It is awesome. And so Jace is special to us because we got on him right away when we got here. We had him up on a ton of different visits. Him and his family, we got really connected and close to. And Jace got banged up actually last spring too, and he broke his collarbone. And in the summer, actually early summer, was going to be out for some of his senior year. He was committed to us at the time, but Jace as a person, really confident in a quiet, confident type of way. You see it with the way he's playing basketball right now. I'm going to go watch him play hoops next week, but dunking on people, super athlete though. I mean, Jace is big, fast, great body control, awesome hands. He's going to be a guy that you can line up wherever, and he's just going to be a mismatch. So I'm excited to teach him the game. I think that'll be the biggest thing for all these young guys coming in, is just to learn the concepts of college football and all the different situational things that come up. But I mean, he is pretty special, and I cannot wait to get him up here. I was wishing he was early enrolling, but he's too good of a basketball player to leave high school.
Right. The thing I love about watching him, whether it's on the court or on the field, he just has that like alpha attitude about him, and it's not in an obnoxious way. Like you said, quiet confidence, and that just really stands out to me, just how he plays and carries himself. I like that.
He does. Throw me the ball. And he can tell you that with his facial expression sometimes. Give me the rock and good things are going to happen. Yep.
All right. Jeepers. Got caught up watching Jace's highlights there. Alex Uckman out of Omaha. I believe, did he miss his senior year?
No, Alex played. He
played. Okay.
Yep. No, so he's Elkhorn North guy, and we liked him at DB and wide receiver early in the process when we were evaluating him. And then he came to camp and he ran in the 4.4s. We had him do it multiple times. It was one of those, it was impressive what he ran at camp. And then just his moxie and elusiveness. He could play all over, but he's primarily going to be in the slot, running some different option routes, using his lateral quickness. Super tough to tackle in space. Great kid, too. I mean, he's unbelievable student. All of these guys, academics are pretty awesome. And so Alex is, he's one of those guys. We're trying to just recruit in a lot of positions, just really big athletes and see what they turn into. And then some of these skill positions, take unbelievable skill players and then find out what they'll be. Alex is a receiver, and I see him being that throughout his career. But I kind of like the Jordan Brown molds from back when Jordan could have played receiver too. A lot of the best corners could also be your best receiver and vice versa.
Yep. Okay. Big physical presence here, I think. He's only listed at 6'1", but Javon Green Jr. out of Chicago, a top 100 prospect in Illinois. Really just love how he uses his body. That's what I like about him. And it just, again, he plays bigger than 6'1", in my opinion. But what do you have to say about him?
Yeah, what you're saying is he does play a lot bigger. He's got a really big catch radius. His wingspan is really long. We thought that at camp. It's funny you said that because I was thinking he was going to, be 6'2" or 6'3". Even when he was out there in his helmet and pads, he just felt big. And that's such a benefit for a quarterback because your quarterback feels that same way, that he can put the ball, whether it's Jace or Javon, to be able to put it in their area code and then be able to make the play on it. But again, another guy that came to camp, and that's a huge thing for us. A live evaluation. He came here without, he had some MAC offers and things of that nature, but came out here with his dad and competed his butt off on a really hot day, and was one of the best guys at camp. So we know we're getting with him. He also plays at just such a solid program, and it's going to be, we know that he's going to be coached well and be used to some structure, coming in, which also helps a young guy being able to adapt.
Yep. Okay. And then the final wide receiver, I think, unless I'm missing one here, DJ Joyner, 6'2", 170 out of Davenport, Iowa, a hooper here. Only has played 1 year of high school football. I think you got a diamond in the rough here, Dan. Yeah,
this is a fun one. We, honestly, it wasn't until his senior year film came out, and we weren't planning to take more wide receivers, and we watched his film and the staff. So we gotta figure this one out. And so, unbelievable kid, great. I mean, always a smile on his face, great demeanor. Him and his mom are just unbelievable people. And we had him up on a visit late. We got him up actually the weekend before the signing period. And so ended up being his only official visit, but his buddies kind of talked him into going out for football during the summer and did pretty well at a camp and then just kept it going. And I mean, as good of an athlete as you're going to find. I mean, you can see that on his basketball highlights too, but he's an incredible kid. I mean, he's got the highest level talent that of anybody in this class or anybody that we've recruited, really. Now we get a chance to coach him and mentor him.
Yep. Chad, you won't have this one. I'm just realizing I screwed up. I still have Harrison Mullins listed as an athlete. Harrison Mullins, speedster. I forget the school, Pella, Iowa. Had a very early offer, I think freshman or sophomore year from Penn State. One of those kids that got the early offer. Talk about Harrison and his speed, and Pella's a good program down there too.
Yeah, he is definitely got the home run ability. And so when he runs, he is so fluid when he runs that you could tell. And he's got some weight to put on. I mean, Harrison isn't I'm not going to tell you that he's 200 pounds right now, but he's got a great frame about him to be able to put on weight. He's got the right mindset, really sharp kid. Again, another guy that comes from an awesome household, but this guy can take the top off. And we knew that we needed to be able to add really to complete the receiver classes. You want to have a few guys that can really just burn it down the field and you could huck it up to, and they're going to run by anybody. And then some big body guys that can catch the ball. But Harrison's super competitive. Again, another guy that we saw live, and he had a ton of things going there when he pulled the trigger on us, and he was really starting to catch fire a little bit. He's another guy that's similar to Alex, that as I watch him, he moves well enough to be a great DB too, if that ever happened in his future. And so he's another one of those guys that's so versatile, great ball skills, really fluid runner, and an extremely high ceiling. When you guys meet him, you're going to love him. He's full energy too. He'll be a fan favorite.
Hey, that's good. And he's used to scoring touchdowns in the Unidome, so we're okay with that. So,
100%. He
yeah.
knows what cleats to wear, turf shoes to wear down there. That's
Yeah,
never
right?
know in these dome places. You got to have 4 different pairs of shoes sometimes.
No kidding. All right. Here, I love you again. We keep saying this about your position groups, but this tight end group, you have a trio that if any one of them became the next dude, it wouldn't shock me. So,
Mhm.
I like this guy right here, Sawyer Jazuski. I'm going to say that
Yep.
wrong. Rogers,
Yep.
Minnesota.
Yep.
Very complete, in my opinion, as a run blocker and as a pass receiver. He's also a wrestler, so he has that grit and stuff, that grime to him. Talk to me about Sawyer.
Yeah, that's what I love about him. He's a tough, no nonsense guy. And he knew all about the Jackrabbits, and he had some connection and wanted to make sure when we offered him, it was a really big deal for him. And the wrestler part of it stood out to us. We love guys that are playing multiple sports and then having success in those sports. And I really like wrestling because it is a one-on-one competition. I know you're getting points for the team, but it's just you and another man on the mat, and you find out a lot about somebody. And so he's got a ton of heart, really physical. And then when you watch his tape, like you said, he can kind of do it all. I think he's going to be able to be a guy that can put his hand in the dirt and big enough and strong enough to block you and block a tight end, but he's going to be able to stretch the field also. And so, again, he's another one of these, our tight ends. I mean, this is a heck of a class, but the ball skills, the size, the growth potential still left in him, and then just his desire and competitiveness is going to be something that stands out about him.
Yep. And then, top 20 recruit in Minnesota, so doing work there. Next up, Teague Cantrell, 6'5", 230, Pleasant Hill, Iowa, Southeast Polk High School, offers from all over the place. The number 4 tight end in Iowa. Love this kid. Again, just
Yeah, he's a guy that same thing. I mean, and Teague's bigger than 230 now. I bet he comes in at probably close to 250 when he gets here in June. I mean, big guy, relentless. When you watch him play, I mean, whether he's split out a receiver, he's in line. He kind of did it all for his team. Really good program. I think Coach Bankston, our wide receiver coach, did a phenomenal job in Iowa for us this year. I think he knows everybody in the entire state of Iowa. So that guy is connected, and we did a great job in that state. And Teague's really a ringleader for us there. But really tough, really competitive, always doing or competing at something. Every time you call him, he's doing something with his buddies competing or doing something outside. I mean, he just loves to get out there and compete. And again, he will be somebody that physically, can come in. And I love our tight end room that returns to our team this year. But if there's a young guy that may come in physically ready to do it and be able to give you some snaps, it would probably be Teague right now. He's going to be a fun one to watch, and we'll move him all over the field.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, this guy's basketball highlights blow my mind. 6'5", 220 is what he, 6'5", 220. Braden Hoban from Grandview Christian. Again, offers from NDSU, USD, UNI. Number 3 tight end, number 20 overall prospect in Iowa. Again, we don't have his basketball highlights, but his football highlights are pretty dang fun too.
Yeah, go to his social media, check out the hoops. So Braden, Coach Benedetto was out at the Minnesota camp, and I wasn't able to make that one. He's like, man, there's this kid out here just dominating it. We got to get him. We got to take. I said, okay, man, like we'll offer him. And I'm the one that does the offers. And, Vince wasn't able to get a hold of me right away, and we're going back and forth. I said, I texted him, I was like, just follow him around and don't let him leave until I'm able to call you back. So I think Benedetto was literally stalking him for the last hour of camp as coaches were trying to butt in there. And then I got a chance to get on FaceTime with him. But really athletic, awesome body control, still a ton of growth in his game, which is fun. I mean, and those are the guys that you want to develop. No nonsense kid. I love Braden. He could be, I try to not get ahead of myself with some of these guys, but he's got NFL build, NFL athleticism, and body control. And I could just see what he's going to be in a year or two in the weight room and in a college program. But no, he's a guy that catches your eye right away. And then when he gets out there and he starts doing things at a camp or moving or competing or seeing him play live, he feels like he's the best guy on the field all the time.
Hey, cool. See, I'm just really looking forward to seeing these 3 when I get down to camp in August and taking a practice or 2. I just want to see what these 3 can do, because you're right. You have the veterans in that room that are going to do what they do. You brought in a lot of nice younger guys last year too, but I'm looking forward to seeing these three and what they actually look like. So
Tight end room is really balanced now with some seniors, some guys that are still developing that have great talent, and then these kids are going to have some unbelievable leadership to learn from too with Kuntz and Creighton.
Yep, definitely. All right, the 605 Hogs. The tradition continues with Weston Rowe, 6'7", 280, Jackson, Minnesota. I just saw some basketball highlights from him the other day. They're pretty fun. He's in the paint, and he's also stepping back and knocking down some threes. This is Dallas from our team, Jackrabbit Illustrated here.
Yep.
He's from Jackson County Central, and this is one of his best friend's kids. So Dallas had some pretty good intel on him for us. But what can you say about Weston?
Yeah, really big kid. He's going to have some development to do just with obviously you're not playing big time football, but he's out there and he does what you would expect him to do, and he's dominating everybody. So between pancakes and knockbacks and how he finishes plays, he's relentless. And again, another guy that knows what it means to be a Jackrabbit and absolutely loves this place. Didn't take long after we offered him. And then, his basketball, Coach Stig would give him a hard time. Coach Stig didn't like when the big guys stepped out there and shot threes, but he's got the ability to go down low and be physical too and score a lot of points, and he's been really productive that way. So really super excited about him. He did a great job at our camp too. Yeah.
One of the things that stood out to me is the Minnesota Prep Zone guys, when they were tweeting out about the state championship game, they commented on his stamina and how for a big guy, he played pretty much every snap on both sides of the ball. And that's pretty cool to me. Like, I know it's a state championship game, you want to be in there and stuff, but man, like for him to have that in him, I guess that stood out to me.
No, he doesn't come off the field, and it's 100 miles an hour every single play. And he did a great job in the All-Star game as well. So, the offensive line, is so much of it is the mindset of being mean and physical and nasty and then learning your techniques around it. But, those offensive linemen that are finishing the pile, I mean, he's one of those guys.
Yep. Okay, Dan, the next guy makes Coach Bang look small. Grant Wilkinson from DeSmet, South Dakota, right down the road. His brother's on the basketball team. What can you say about this 9-man stud from South Dakota here?
Yeah, obviously really, really big. But to be able to be that tall and to be Grant's size, he still has room to put on plenty of weight as well, but he bends really well and he's very athletic, and he's got an orneriness to him, which is awesome. He was at our camp and he's going against kids from, towns or schools of 5,000, 3,000, all these guys with all these offers, all this. Grant doesn't care. He's just going to get in there and fight you and be super physical and kind of a funny sense of humor too. I love Grant. There's a photo of him like at I think it was homecoming or something like that, where he was driving around standing on the back of a pickup truck or something during the game. He's the man. But and then to be able to have the family ties at South Dakota State, with his parents being Jackrabbits, his brother being on the basketball team. We'll have to see when Damon's eligibility is up for hoops, and I don't know, maybe he pulls a Dale Moss or something and comes out here. But no, he's a prototypical tackle, probably a left tackle, but can play either side. And I know Coach Bankston can't wait to get him up here and get to work.
Okay. Well, one guy that is on campus already, I believe, Braylon Deacon Keehee. Is that how you say his last name?
Keehee? Yep.
All right. Yes. Good. This is probably your most pure, like, interior guard prospect, right? This year.
Yeah, he played guard or center.
Good. I love his physicality. That's what stood out to me when I watch it. He wants to fight you in a phone booth. Yeah.
He is super athletic and nasty. I mean, at our camp, he must have taken 30 reps, didn't matter who it was, winning competitions. His ability to make contact and then sink his hips and be able to then accelerate his feet and finish is super unique. And he's all ball. I mean, this guy, he was like some guys do photo shoots and they're worried about making sure they look pretty and all that for the photo shoot. Well, he's got his pads on and all that. We figured he had his pads on. He was doing like offensive line indie in the corner doing drills. I was like, all right, buddy, we can't evaluate you here. You need to come over here and do the photo shoot. Stop doing football. But no, and he knew he wanted to early enroll, and it's going to be huge for his growth and development to do so and to be around the guys. I mean, he's 285 already walking in the door, which he doesn't look that at all. He looks super lean. And so very athletic, all ball. I mean, he's going to be in Coach Bang's office every single day trying to get some extra in, and he fits that group too, because all our 605 Hogs are like that.
Okay. No, that's exciting. I'm glad that it's fun to have some early enrollees too that we can kind of track and see how it goes. Next guy is up from my part of the world here, Dan. Noah Deedle, Litchfield, Minnesota. Litchfield made like the state, not the state championship, but the state tournament in Minnesota for the first time in a long time. Tremendous senior class this year, it sounded like up there. Talk about Noah.
Yeah, this is another massive guy. I mean, we talked about Grant being big, but Noah's big now. I mean, he's all of 6'6" or bigger. He's probably 330 pounds, looks and is still really, really fit. He is a mauler. I mean, and he's got a ton of room to grow and things, but I'm telling you, he's a big dude that's really physical, that's really sharp. I love him because he's just blue collar, hardworking guy, does everything at the school. I mean, he's in the band, he's playing other sports. He's, we went out there for a home visit and he's feeding the chickens, and, his dad's got a bunch of old cars he's showing us, and they kind of live out in the country, and it's pretty cool. But no, he's exactly, when you think of a 605 Hog and you think of somebody that's going to strike you and move the line of scrimmage, he is that, and very, very athletic, good basketball player as well.
Yep. Okay. So that's our offensive guys, I think. We whipped through those. Good work. All right.
Trying to be efficient, buddy.
Yeah, trying to be efficient. All right. We're going to start on the chain gang here. These defensive ends, Dan, we're going to start with Caden Oakland here, but whether it's Caden Oakland or Tetzlaff or Heiderman or Bunce, whoever it is, you have some really athletic dudes here at this defensive line. Caden Oakland was a monster for Northfield on these plays at both tight end and at defensive end. I love his tight end highlights. If it doesn't work out at D end, I think he could slide over too. But why'd you like Caden? He signed pretty early.
He did. He's he came up here to a junior day, loved it, fit, and then his athleticism is what stands out. You watch him dunk a basketball, you watch him run, you watch him move. There's a reason they have him standing up off the edge. And so he gives us a different dynamic. A lot of the guys we signed are really big guys, 6'4", 6'5", and Caden's not that, but his athleticism can help him win. He's really physical, and he's got a ton of growth to be able to do in terms of the technique part of playing on the line of scrimmage, but really violent, really athletic. And he's been all in since early on in the process. And I loved him at camp. He came to a bunch of game days. He's been here. I mean, I wish he was early enrolling because he'd be making the most of his opportunity too. But sure. Again, another one of these guys that needs to go score some points and win some basketball games.
Yeah. So for him and Bunce, we'll get into Bunce here in just a little bit. Are you going to let them, or Bergie, whoever is making the call, let them stand up at 2-point stance like that? I mean, that's not something traditionally our ends have done a lot of.
Yeah, we're going to do that some. And Coach McCormick, a lot of that is pass downs. You can stand up for sure based on the call. Guys can stand up, but if they're strong enough and able to anchor down in the run game, a lot of guys can get away with doing this because it allows them to do what he just did right there on film, is be able to some quick up and unders and be able to use their athleticism. So Caden's actually the build and athlete that we would allow to do that. Maybe not every down, maybe based on call, but yeah, we've talked about allowing some guys to do that. The DNs that we have right now on the roster are really good players, but they're definitely hand in the ground, bigger body type of guys that we've had here. Caden will be a little bit different of a dynamic there. He's not we actually looked at him as linebacker too, so he's kind of athletic enough to do those things, and maybe we can get in some odd front and expand on our package and have him be that between guy, play some back or play some D end.
Sure. Love it. All right. Bergen Tetzlaff, the local product, the legacy, his brother, obviously everyone knows Preston is the special teams demon that he was. Number one defensive lineman prospect in South Dakota. Absolutely a monster senior year. Did everything for Brookings. What can you say about him?
Yeah, first, better people make better players. And I think all these guys that we recruit are great people. When you get to know Bergen as well as you do by seeing him in town so much and seeing him around and him being at games and practices and knowing his family, what type of person you're getting. But as a player, you see the production. I mean, he was one of the top tacklers, probably the top tackler in the state of South Dakota even a year ago, and broke some records that way. So you see that he's really, really productive. Thing I love about him is like he's a player that's super instinctual at the same time. When you see him play off the ball at linebacker and then at tight end, he's got a great feel for the game. And we got a chance to evaluate him multiple times, but one time was at the Riggs Combine down in Sioux Falls. And I just told our staff, I'm like, what are we doing? We need to let's get him offered and let's get him, committed as soon as we possibly can. And so, and he's going to be big. I mean, he's big like his dad. And, his dad was an All-American defensive tackle here. And, I could see Bergen, who knows, like Bergen could play tight end. He could grow into a D tackle. We're going to start him off at defensive end. He's getting bigger and bigger. And maybe the last thing on Bergen is that I love is just like when he would have a question in recruiting, he didn't call me. He would text me and say, Coach, can I stop up to your office tomorrow? And he would just come by himself. He didn't need he just knew what he wanted. He knew the questions he needed answered. When he committed, he did the same thing. Hey, Coach, can I come up? He'd be up at 7 a.m. or 6:30 in the morning before he went to school to be able to communicate. So I was just proud of his maturity in the recruiting process.
Huh, that's really cool. I like that. His family's been through it already, so they kind of just know, like, yeah, go talk to Coach yourself. Like, you got it.
And I think he wanted it to be his own recruiting. I think sometimes when your brother plays here, your dad played somewhere, that you can feel certain ways about that as a young guy. And Kevin and Preston, they never they wanted it to be his process too, and he took a hold of his recruitment, and he knew what he wanted. He asked the right questions, and he went and earned everything that he got. And so yeah, he's not just a Jackrabbit because it's a family lineage or because he's in town. We would recruit this kid wherever he lived in the entire country.
There we go. Hey, and he's used to scoring some touchdowns in our stadium too. Again,
so
there we go.
Big touchdowns in that stadium.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Cale Bunce out of Missouri. I love these highlights, Dan. He just flies around. What can you say about Cale?
Yeah, Cale's awesome. He's another guy that came to camp and evaluated, but people couldn't block him. He's got an innate ability to rush the passer. Bends really, really well, and then is super violent and physical when he gets there. But he is
look at that play.
To catch it and then almost be able to break that tackle and run it back. And Cale's gonna be a big dude. I mean, he'll be another guy that gets here in the 240s or 250s and has the weight on him already probably to go out there and play. And he's super competitive guy. He just fits in every way. Coach McCormick does a phenomenal job developing these guys and but he builds really good relationships with them in the recruiting process. And so I know he's excited to be coached by Logan. And the time that they spent together was super valuable in his recruitment and his decision, because he knows he still needs to develop, and he needed to get with the right coach and the right program that was going to be able to teach him the game. And I mean, there was a ton of Division I talent on his team this year, and they were a really good program. And I mean, when I watched the film, I think he's the best guy that they got out there. And so he was a guy that had a lot of interest from other places in recruiting all the way till the end. But yeah, he had a great senior year, and he's going to have a special, special career for us. He can stop the run with his size and his physicality, but he's going to get himself a lot of sacks too.
Yep. I know. I love his play. This is one of my favorite, tapes, I think, from this class. So we have some guys next that might be defensive end, might be defensive tackles, but we're going to start with Connor Heiderman, Battle Creek, Nebraska. And I heard you tell the story about this. I think I was down with, at some point, but that he just kind of had that Caleb Sanders camp where no one could block him, right? He came and you just kind of slowly moved him from group to group as he just continued to dominate. Is that, am I remembering that correctly?
That is right. And he is a D tackle. He's playing inside. I don't care what he say. He'll come in here at 275 probably when he gets here. But this definition of tough right here. I mean, Connor came into camp, and like you said, it was a Caleb Sanders type camp where every board drill was like complete domination for a while. And he wanted to keep going. And then even beyond that, it was like he just wasn't getting tired, and he was having fun with it. And he is a mean kid. I mean, his in a good way. He's very Logan Greenish, I would say, like size and toughness as well. Logan's another good comparison for Connor, but I think it's his brother does like UFC fighting and martial, like, and just for fun. I'm like, well, what do you get? What do you do for like workouts and stuff? He's like, no, I spar sometimes. I'm like, oh, you guys actually hit each other? He's like, oh yeah, look, like, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if we called him right now, they'd have a black eye or a cut lip or something from just fighting. And what a better defensive tackles that are athletic and twitchy and physical and then love to fight. Let's go.
Dan, this is funny. I wasn't going to say this, but this is my memory of Connor here. At his official visit, I was also on the sideline. So I saw him and I was looking at people's name tags and stuff and just, saying hi, whatever. And his brother walks by. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to meet that guy in the parking lot later. That is so funny learning about him now. Jeepers.
Yeah, just fighting his brother, who's a big dude that knows what he's doing in the octagon or whatever it is, street fighting. When street fighting is one of your hobbies, it's a good sign. He's not going to be scared of much.
Yeah. All right. One of the Wisconsin guys. I'm really happy with what we did in Wisconsin with this class, by the way. Couple outstanding guys. Elias Jansen, 6'3", 240 from Kimberly, which is where Coach McCormick's from, right?
Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, talk about Elias.
Yeah, good connection with Coach McCormick out there at this high school, and really came down to us and the guys up north. And he was diligent in his process, and took his visits. But high motor guy, really, really high motor, and he is playing as hard as he possibly can on every single play. And he's again one of those guys that's also kind of quiet when you're not, when he's not on the football field, and he can kind of be a little bit unassuming. And then you put the pads on him, and he's just dominant, really strong hands. He does a great job finishing and making plays. Sometimes defensive linemen can be really disruptive, but not make the play or finish the tackle because there's somebody hanging on him or whatever. I mean, Eli finishes plays now, and he's going to give us an element of athleticism in there. And he's a big dude too, but he's going to give you some athleticism on the inside that allows him to play 3 technique, not just nose, and be able to be really effective on his stunts and movements. And this kid he loves football, eat, sleep, strength football.
Good. I just love his tape. I love what Coach McCormick is building there. It's funny because you mentioned high motor and things like that. It's one of those things I remember Coach McCormick up north, being one of his characteristics too.
He's still got a high motor. We watch him at practice. He's flying around. I think at one of the camps, he got so excited this summer at a recruiting camp, he was showing a kid how to strike, and he knocked the kid over. I'm like, calm down, Logan. We got 17 years old, buddy. But no, and he's the strongest coach we have on staff too. I think he's the only one that still puts weight on his back and squats. But Logan's been an unbelievable addition to our staff, and this is one of the best defensive line classes I believe that we've had. We'll look back in a couple years, and that'll be confirmed.
Yep, agreed. Grant Kuhlman, Wilbur, Nebraska, offers from all over the place. The number 1 ranked athlete in the Prep Zone database for Nebraska, and then the 15 overall prospect in Nebraska this year. So really a good player here.
Yeah, big guy. I actually got a text the other night from one of my buddies who was with Coach Rule. They were watching his team play basketball. There's another kid there down in Nebraska, and was just saying man, you guys got a guy in Kuhlman. It's no doubt. But really big, super athlete, phenomenal leader too. I mean, just one of those guys that does everything right, training room, classroom, and he is going to be physically ready to walk in the door and go. So we'll see when we get him up here in June on what we can do in terms of getting him caught up. But it came down to a unique one. We actually beat Central Florida on him. Coach Frost had offered him and visited down there, but he just felt like this was the fit and the right place for him. And he was offered really early on here, because I knew that the last staff was on him and he had been to campus, and he had told me then how much he just loved South Dakota State. It wasn't just one coach or one this or one player. I mean, it meant a lot to him to be here. He just really felt like he fit, and he can do a lot of things. We're going to have to put all these guys. We might have to start running a 5-man front. I don't know.
There we go.
When we get all these dudes play man and put all the big boys on the line.
God. I'll admit I haven't watched any of these highlights in a while since it was probably signing day. Man, it's fun to watch these guys. Jeepers.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. All right. Local kid, one of your first commits of last year for this class, Mitchell Guthmiller, 6'4", 180 from Sioux Valley High School. Played some wide receiver and played some linebacker for the Cossacks. So what about Mitchell?
Super athlete, didn't play linebacker before this year, so just started being able to get his feet wet with that. But he is really fluid, really athletic, and in a positive way, he's really lean. I mean, he was 185 pounds or something when we signed him, but he's got the frame to be 220, and I just know what he's going to look like and how he's going to move and play as he adds that weight and gets into a great weight program. We're feeding him all the time and things, but he's all in now. I mean, I love Mitch. When I went to see him at school, I must have spent 2 hours there with him just hanging out. And he loves South Dakota State, obviously just down the road, 10, 15 minutes away. But at the same thing, at the Riggs Combine, it was like, you can't coach the guys there, but he was doing some drills, and I just would give him a couple little pointers. And I saw him in just a course of 30 minutes just get so much better because he could take coaching. And that was it for me. As soon as athletic as he was, and that he could apply what you told him to do without even showing him how to do it was really impressive. And then he'll come up here all the time. I mean, anytime it's not a dead period, he's at practice, he's watching workouts. He wants to, I can't say enough about him coming in and my excitement for his development.
Yeah. And, with Bowden too, another Sioux Valley kid that's on the team. He's going to be in his third year this year. Last year, kind of one of your special team standouts, in my opinion. Like he did well once he got healthy. So
yeah, when Bowden was healthy, he was making a ton of plays. Bowden, that's Mitch's guy. So it's always good to be able to have somebody that they look up to on the team already to be able to show them the way.
Hey, that's cool. All right, our next linebacker, Joel Sanko from Dowling Catholic, just a powerhouse program down there in Iowa. Number 6 linebacker, number 50 overall player in Iowa.
Yeah, he's an all-around football player. So he'll play Sam for us, kind of the Van Tol position. But I think he'll get big enough to play Will in his time here, but really explosive, dynamic kid from a phenomenal program. He came to camp and showed out. And he's another one. When you watch this film, you're wondering, why didn't he have 20 offers? And I can't answer that. I know he had like a hip deal, or he had some injury before, but he was able to get that taken care of and then come back and show that he was completely healthy. And you saw it on his senior tape. And he is going to strike you. And he flies to the ball, and he's a missile when he gets there. And what I like is when he gets his pads on, guys, like they go back. They go down or back. There isn't any leaky extra yardage. So fired up about him, and he's got high knowledge and IQ of the game too.
Yeah. And again, you said you don't ever want to put like this pressure on kids, but we watched this tape and it was like, well, this is Isaiah Stallbird. Like this is Isaiah Stallbird from high school. Like that's what it reminded me of just how he could play that strong safety, Sam linebacker, like you said, and do it both well. So
ton of versatility.
Yep. All right. Again, another one of these Wisconsin kids here. The number 1 overall defensive back and number 9 overall prospect from Wisconsin, Dominique Walters. So talk about Dom.
No, stud. I mean, this kid, you talk about just a winner in every phase. I was trying to pull up my text, but my phone had this update that I can't figure out because he'll text you all the time. He was dialed into every one of our games this year, texting you before, texting you after. Can't wait to be a Jackrabbit. I mean, he's he is a winner. I mean, it's just hard the film is the film, and he's an unbelievable athlete. He makes so many big plays for his team, though, in big moments. Sometimes when you're watching highlight films, you don't know if the team's up by 50 or who they're playing or, when they're making these plays. You really got to find out. He makes his biggest plays in the biggest moments. And and is a captain on his team, and somebody that his coaching staff really highly recommended. Coach Gales really led the recruiting for Dom, and they connected really well. And so I can't wait to get he's itching to get here, so he probably wishes he was early enrolling.
Right. And he's another one of those really, really smart, intelligent kids, 4 Ivy
Oh.
League offers. So, you know the brains are there. That's for sure.
He's not going to have a problem picking up the A gap, B gap, C gap, run and
Nah.
tackle. He'll be
Nah.
dialed.
All right. The most recent commit for this class, stud linebacker, Barry Fries, out of another Elkhorn North kid for you here. Offers from Iowa State, Wyoming, Sac State, Air Force, the second-rate linebacker in Nebraska, the 9th overall prospect, the Super State, the Omaha paper thing, all the awards. And then you turn on the tape and it matches. It makes sense.
Barry's recruiting is probably one of the more unique. I mean, it goes to why you need to do things the right way with people all the time. As we recruited Barry when we first got here, we got him on campus a couple times. I mean, and he came to campus. He loved us so much that it was like, he had Iowa State and all these offers. And I just texted Iowa State and I said, "What's the deal with this kid? Are you guys not, trying to get him or what's going on?" They said, "No, we want him. We want him real bad." And so he did end up committing and actually signing to Iowa State. And then obviously with the coaching turnover and things, and he's an early enrollee. And so he's here right now. And he didn't want to wait to find out what Coach Rogers was going to do at Iowa State or what they were doing with him at Penn State, and as soon as that went down and he got his release, I called him and I said, "Hey, buddy, at the end of the day, we've loved you since the start, and you know what you're going to get with us. And maybe this was meant to be." And he agreed. And a couple days later, I could just feel the relief in his voice when he committed to us. And I mean, he committed us, and then about 10 days later, he's packing his stuff and he's here. And he smile on his face, working hard. He's a big dude now. I mean,
he's all 6'3". That's what I was just going to say.
Probably 6'4", and he's not done. And he's 222 pounds when he showed up. So he's fast enough, and I hope he stays at linebacker for a long time. But if he may be like that big, I hate to use Bison guys, but the DeLuca type mold, big linebacker that's athletic, and he's fit in really, really well. Huge get for us late. Huge get.
Okay, terrific. Okay, I know you like these secondary guys here. And Dan, I do have these in order of when they committed and stuff too. So we're going to talk about Shane Wienhoff out of Madison here first. This guy tore it up testing, and then he tore it up his senior year. It's a fun guy in every phase of the game.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Again, when you see Shane, you're not going to be wowed by his size. You're just not. But I don't think anybody was really wowed by Tucker Large's size. But there's guys that are just good at everything. He's one of those guys. He can play receiver. He can play defense. He can play a multitude of sports. We saw him train a few times down at the Sanford facility with Riggs. And, at the end of the day, kids from this area that have the ability to play and win championships that are really competitive, we're going to take. And every time he turned into one of my favorite guys to call on the phone because he was just so he was just so to the point. And you talk about always doing something and competing. That's him. I can't even. I mean, there was times like, "Buddy, you need to rest. You need to He would go from this practice to that practice to an extra training session, and no, he's really tough, really, really competitive, and like I said, he just finds a way to be good at everything that he's doing.
Yep, definitely. All right, one of my favorite players in this class, and I've said this multiple times to you, Micah Bush from Hills Beaver Creek, the best 9-man player here in Minnesota, did everything for his team in the state championship game 2 years in a row. Obviously, you have one of his teammates on the roster right now. But what can you say about Micah?
Oh, Mike is a stud. This kid's awesome. He, the Vikings do a deal where they have the top 50 players from Minnesota come to the camp. And I got a buddy that's on staff at the Vikings, and Tony texted me and was like, "Micah Bush, great get, dude. This kid's unbelievable." And so he was even impressing the NFL coaches when he was out there, but really fast, super fluid athlete, great basketball player as well, does everything for his high school and his team. And he may have been at every home game. So he's all the way in and cannot wait to get here and get going, but he'll play safety. And I know he's played small football or whatever. He may get himself out there and he's going to be in the mix pretty early on, but unbelievable family and just a kid that you just see greatness in every time you're around him.
Yep, definitely. Robert Hunter, Wichita East High School, played quarterback, top 40 prospect in Kansas. I had offers from Yale and NDSU. So, again, the smarts are there. He's very intelligent. His quarterback tape is fun, buddy. I love his quarterback tape.
Yeah, DBs that played quarterback, they understand field space, they understand coverage. Obviously, he could throw the ball, but he's really athletic. When he got in the open field, nobody could tackle him. He came on a junior day visit, and I think he stayed for like 2 or 3 days. It's like, I don't know what was going on. He came to a visit, and then he came to a practice, and then he wanted to stay longer. I'm like, all right, buddy, if he doesn't even want to leave our junior day visits, he's probably, I feel good about getting him, but and he's an early enrollee too. So seeing him run around and move around and being around the guys has been really cool. And at first I thought he'd be more raw at corner just from playing so much quarterback, but I really think he's much further ahead than Dyshawn Gales was at the time. Coach Gales that was primarily a quarterback, in his time. So really, really excited about him. He's a key piece that'll play corner.
Okay. Amari Williams, 6 foot 175 out of DeSmet Jesuit High School. Again, another powerful program. Offers from the MAC everywhere. Dartmouth, Sac State, number 4 D-back, number 37 overall prospect in Missouri. So very, very highly recruited kid here. Love his tape as well. What can you say about Amari?
Yeah, great leader. Definitely somebody you want back there playing safety, leading your group. And I would say that, we're trying to get back into the Missouri area. I mean, really, our areas were pretty well spaced out. I know we were good in Iowa and Wisconsin and Nebraska and South Dakota and Minnesota. When you look at our class, it's also includes some Kansas guys and some Missouri guys, and that's going to be an area that we really focus on. Thought he was one of the better players in the area, plays for an unbelievable program. Coach McClin went out during our season and watched him play, and I just have seen the growth in him already. And so most young DBs, they're going to have some developing to do, but his athleticism and his length are awesome, and he'll throw it in there, and he's willing to be super physical too. So again, another one of those guys. I'm kind of selfish. I wish all these DBs were here this spring so we could get to work, but he'll be here soon enough. And but no, and he went through his recruiting process diligently and took some OVs and made his decision in the summer and has been really confident with it.
Yep, good. Also, cornerback, I think Amir White. 5'10", 180, Mount Carmel High School in Chicago. Really, really tremendous athleticism is what stands out to me with Amir.
Yeah, really fluid athlete. We saw him at summer camps. Coach McClin and Gale saw him multiple times at camps, and we're taking, the videos and sending things back and getting me in the loop when I wasn't able to see him live. But he's just a really smooth mover and a really focused, locked-in kid. He's got great personality and things, but he's really dialed. And, when you play at Carmel, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a guy that understands football at a high level. And so love him. I think he's got some really, really high-end potential just overall as an athlete. And, I feel so good about our young DBs in this class. I thought it was critical that we nailed it with some depth at the position, safety and corner this year, guys that could play nickel. And I think we hit it out of the park. Yeah.
Dan, this is kind of a sidebar here, but you spent a couple of years in Northern Illinois, and so you got to be a little closer to a lot of these programs. What on these Illinois schools, what stands out to you about these kids that are coming in?
Yeah, I think, you got the Brother Rices, you got Illinois is there's some really good, there's Catholic League schools, there's the suburb schools, there's the city schools. Illinois kids still have they're great because it is distance area for us, and there is a lot of kids in that area of Chicago, but they're used to playing in the cold. They're used to being coached, at a really high level. I can't say enough about some of the coaching staffs in this area. And so, I think Illinois kids, it's similar, I guess, to, any state in terms of you got some of your smaller town, rural type kids, and then some kids that have come from the city, but they love football. They're competitive. It's not like culture shock for them when they get to Brookings either. Sure. And I think our past has shown that we can hit on schools in Illinois, and I do appreciate whether it's myself being out there, Coach Eisnes being out there, Coach McClin. A lot of us have recruited this area. Benedetto's from out there, and so I think we feel really good when we take a player from this area that we're going to hit on them.
Okay. Sounds good. I just had that thought and wanted to ask you while we had you
Yeah.
here. So, all right, Tank Farr, another early enrollee here. From Racine Case High School, offers from Wyoming, CMU Air Force, EMU Army, and then all the good Valley schools. Number 2 overall athlete, number 13 overall prospect in Wisconsin. This guy, he looks the part. I think I told you this. I don't know if I did or not. But he happened to be eating at Cottonwood breakfast that morning, and he already had his stuff on. So I was there with Miles. We were having breakfast. It was before the youth camp that I brought Miles down to, and he looks the part as a high school or as a incoming high school senior. It's like, oh yeah, that's a Division I football player right there. What can we say about Tank?
Man, Tank is pretty special. Just as a person, really humble, loyal, genuine kid. I mean, I'd FaceTime him and we'd be on the phone for 45 minutes. It's just felt connected to him really early on in the process. Coach McClin brought him to the table and had known about him before as a young guy, but super athletic as a player. I mean, you see what he's doing on offense here, plays every play. I mean, he's unbelievably special. He could play safety. He could play, nickel. You could do a lot of different things with him. The thing I love about him is he's an early enrollee. So he's here right now. He's going to get a lot of reps. And one of our strength interns, she came up and was just talking to us today and was like, just how impressed she was with how he just gets to work and how humble he is and how respectful he is. And those, like I said, better people make better players. But then he went out on the field and was doing some drill work. And he's also a freak athlete. So, cool. I mean, he's been in Coach Bergstrom's office learning really high-level leadership skills. He's asking the early enrollees, do they want to go to lunch at the Union? Do they, he's at the basketball games. I mean, he's posted more South Dakota State pictures on Instagram than anybody else we've recruited too. So, cool. I love Tank.
He just gets it, it sounds like, right?
He gets it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, signing day surprise here. Jaden Noel, 6 foot 190 from Fort Zumwalt North High School. Offers from all over the place. Again, some Ivy League offers in there too. It was a flip for you. So talk about Jaden Noel.
Yeah, Jaden, we saw him at camps in the summer, and he was really impressive. I mean, he's big, and he's super fast and very athletic. Well, he got hurt, and he was one of those guys that also, this is all junior stuff that you're watching. He did not play his senior year. And so when you watch his junior highlight film and you compare what would he have done with a healthy senior year? I don't know. I mean, he could have, he would have had a lot of interest, definitely, but great kid, great family, great student. But he gives you the really big, fast boundary corner that you can blitz, that can obviously play press man, versus guys. And he was just, again, one of those guys that we got on late, and he was committed to Indiana State, and we had an opportunity to get him. And we just had to take it. A goal of ours, like I said, was to rebuild the secondary from the youth, to be able to get us some guys to develop, because I know we can develop them. There's not going to be somebody better than Coach McClin and Gales and myself and Bergstrom to be able to develop a DB. So, he's very talented, very big kid too.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing him. All right, the defensive athlete here, Brady Schodemeyer from Viborg Hurley, Chase Mason's cousin, as we've all learned. 6'2", 200. What can you say about Brady?
Yeah, he's himself. He's his own guy. He did ask if he could wear number 7. I was like, well, that number's taken for one more year, buddy. I play defense though. But phenomenal all-around athlete. Watch his hoops. Watch him dunk on people. He's going to be a guy that he was at our team camp this summer too, when he was playing quarterback. And I knew he was the guy when he got hit and the wind knocked out of him and he was kind of banged up again. I mean, we're talking a June camp, but he picked himself up off the ground and continued to go and just led his team. He's just got an infectious competitiveness about him. And I think he plays safety. He can play Sam. He can play. There's a little bit of us needing to figure it out with him but it's tough to find a better athlete and a kid that wants to be there at South Dakota State so badly. It's going to work out just fine for him. So it was kind of funny. I was watching his highlight video with Chase in my office one day, and Chase is like, "Yeah, coach, I live like right there." You could like see Brady's house, and Chase. It's like I kind of like the small town guys that big, super athletic kids.
Yeah, right. That's good. Hey, I'm going to let you get a drink here before we flip over to the transfer portal here. We cranked out all those recruits. Good job.
We
Just
crushed
a little over
it,
an
buddy.
hour. Not
We
bad,
crushed
man.
it.
All
I
right.
don't know what's going on with my computer. It says 40%, so I'm good. It's not.
You're good.
Trouble. We got time.
All right. Well, you get a drink. I want to talk about Hadrick Ranch here quick. Hadrick Ranch, we've new partner this year, and we've been raving all season long about Hadrick Ranch beef, and it is the best. Chad's in the background. He's nodding. He knows it too. So we appreciate Hadrick Ranch. You can, if you want to sample it first, they have beef. Restaurants all over Minerva's in Sioux Falls, the Double Barrel in Henry, Mad Mary's, the barbecue, Rub and Tug Barbecue in Brookings. And you can actually just buy some stuff out of the case at Rub and Tug too. So it is delicious. We've all had it, the Jackrabbit Illustrated crew. And if you would like to have some of your own, go to hadrickranch.com and get yourself some. Dan, I know that you guys, as a football program, have gone through a ton of beef, and you have some really good partners from all over and stuff too. But I know you got to try some Hadrick Ranch stuff, one of the tailgates that JFPA did. So pretty good stuff.
No, it's awesome. We and I actually tried it at Mad Mary's. I didn't know it was there, but I was down doing some recruiting over our bye week, and I stopped in there. I said, "Where is this ribeye from?" They said, "It's at this ranch." I said, "I know that guy."
Perfect.
And we're out of beef too. So if Troy's got anything just hanging around, we feed the guys about 30 pounds of beef every day. So
if he just has it hanging around, there we go. Oh, that's a good plug. Want to talk about that really quick? The beef donations.
Definitely. We, in our program, nutrition is always going to be one of the biggest things to me, your developmental program. So we've got supplements with protein and collagen and magnesium and all sorts of things, vitamins for the guys. But at the end of the day, they need to get calories and good ones. And so Troy, different members of the JFPA have done a really good job stepping up the class 06. There's too many people to thank with that. But yeah, we'll go through a cow in 3 weeks over here, and we'll grill it up for the boys, or we pass them out steaks. I want to pass them out some steaks or roasts or something to cook for the Super Bowl as well at their house. So yeah, it's a fun part of being at South Dakota State with how many people get involved, ranchers.
Yep, definitely. It's fun to see that like continuation from the academic side to the football field and how it benefits the team. So one other food thing we got to do quick. Cubby Sports Bar and Grill, also a terrific sponsor, home to the Dan Jackson Coaches Show every week that we love to tune into. Dan, has it been good being back and just being able to grab Cubbies whenever you want?
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than going to Cubbies. Tell you what, the show is one thing, but being able to, I took the staff there a couple times in the summer to sit on the rooftop is really cool. And the thing I love about Cubbies is just like you're right back at home. I left for 5 years, but you see Gus, prayers for Jeremy, and Deutsch, but it's just a family feel all around.
Yeah. Isn't it like, so I sometimes get a little emotional talking about Cubbies and how they're one of our best sponsors, and our stupid flag is flying there, the Jackrabbit Illustrated flag. And it's like 21-year-old Matt would have thought that was just like unbelievable that someday you'd have a flag associated with you, like hanging there. But
you come a long ways.
Yeah. Right.
If you make the wall in Cubbies, you're a big deal.
Yeah. There we go. Awesome. And Chad's in the background getting everything ready here. Just want to give a huge shout out to Chad for everything he does for Jackrabbit Illustrated and just having these highlight clips ready to rock and roll today. Chad, on some of these, production here, but on some of these, there's just not going to be highlights. They're linked to tweets. These guys didn't all get highlights up, and that's okay. So don't stress out too much about it, but we will jump in. And just go with Ashton Sayre, defensive tackle from Minnesota State University, Moorhead. 1 to 2 years remaining. Moorhead's a program that's been on the upswing the last few years. What'd you like about Ashton?
Really big, really athletic. He was banged up, some not this season, but the previous year. And you could tell that he was coming back from that, but really high motor. He's all a 6'5". He's got to be 300 pounds. I'll check that out. But we knew we wanted to add an experienced guy to get in there with Logan and Jace, and be able to get a guy that's played college football, been really productive. But maybe the most fun thing about Ashton is, though, you take a guy with 1 year of eligibility left that's guaranteed to him right now, he is going to improve so much in our program, just from the nutrition we talked about and the strength and conditioning. And he's been really well coached. Coach Courier does a good job out there. But I think there's a monster jump in him still. And big guys are hard to get in the portal. Everybody wants them. And to be able to get one in your own backyard that wanted to be here was really, really cool.
Yep, definitely. And these we're going to talk a lot, Dan, and a lot's been made about as many defensive D2 players that you took here. But the NSIC players are dang good. And our fans saw that when we played Augie 2 years ago, and Augie went, blow for blow with us for a while, at least. And I hope that folks appreciate that the NSIC is playing some pretty damn good football right now. And the
people are going to be
talent,
people are going to be appreciating all these D2 kids when they're out there on the field making plays for us. I think our strategy in the portal is, first, I trust my eye, so I don't really care where you play. No different than recruiting a Micah Bush over in a Jace Woods. Jace is at a big school in Sioux Falls. Micah Bush is at a 9-man. Well, you got to trust your eye in evaluation and recruiting, and a lot of people will have a hard time with that in the portal. But if you're a good player, you're a good player. And these dudes are big, athletic, all conference, all American. I think we had an all American at every level of our defense this past portal season. And, the Power 4 guys, I'm not against Power 4 guys if they've played. Alex Bullock was a captain at Nebraska, and I knew him since he was 14 years old. So I knew I was getting there. But I think it's a real risk if all the Power 4 schools want our best players, why would I want guys that can't play at the Power 4? So I think it's just trusting your eye and your gut and knowing your needs too.
Yep, definitely. Hey, Dan, I missed this in the comment section just a beat ago, but Troy Hedrick, I got you covered, Coach. So
I love it.
There we go. All right. After Ashton, and thanks, Coach, for that description of what you were looking for in the portal. I think that's really good and helps people. Love this guy. Absolute animal. Carter Sitzman, 6'4", 260, Wayne State College. You mentioned some All-Americans, All-NSIC. This guy's a stud.
He's a stud. Everybody I talked to in that conference said this is, get this dude out of our league type of thing. And he's actually from Lincoln, Nebraska, so had known about him coming out of high school and had been tracking his career. But, he's 265 right now, probably pushing 270, and he's really just on top of it. It's not surprising to me that he's as good of a player as he is, because he's just a winner, does everything the right way, super athletic for his size. When you pair him with all of our defensive ends, but a Reese and a Rip and those two guys have played the most, and a Blake. And it's going to be a fun position where we needed to get back to on the defensive line playing 9-10 guys. We weren't able to do it this year. And we're going to be able to push that number a year from now. And Carter's he's a game changer. And I loved he came, he visited, he got his offer, and he didn't waste any time. He signed. And this was the other part of the D2 thing to just touch on it may interest people is when the D2 seasons are over, they can go into the portal right away. They don't have to wait till January. Well, then we can official visit them because we're not in a dead period, whereas the FBS schools are in dead period. So a kid goes into the portal and we can trip them and recruit them for a month and get them on campus. And a lot of these guys are smart enough to know why wait till January 2nd. I don't want to be one of these 6,000 with nowhere. So anyways, I'm really, really fired up about Carter.
Good. Me too. All right. One player that was impossible to find much information about, at least on social media, there was plenty written about him, was Jess Kirchel, another Wayne State player, honorable mention All-American, the NSIC Defensive Player of the Year, one of those top 100 guys. He was on one of those lists. Offers from literally all over the country, and he has 2 years remaining. Talk about Jess.
Yeah, and the one thing when you look at our linebackers, we didn't graduate any, but we're going to graduate a lot of them in a year. And Jess is, big, fast. He's over 230 pounds right now, 6'2", I've been impressed with how quickly he learns already. I think he's got our base defense down. He's been here for 2 weeks. He's studying flashcards. He's him and Carter were at FCA the other night. I mean, I think to have those two that were teammates coming here probably helps both of them with the transition, but he's also a phenomenal student. I believe he's like a biology. I mean, he's really high level kid. I think this is like, this kid's as good as anybody that's on our team right now in terms of projection. I haven't been able to coach him right now, but when you watch his film and you watch his tape, he is a playmaker all over the field. He's relentless. He's going to fit just in with that linebacker crew that we got.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Cornerback, another All-American here. 6'2", 195 from Kearney. Yep. Ife Current.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Offers again from all over the place. 1 year remaining.
Yeah, Ife's a big, long boundary corner that's going to be able to he'll be really good in our cover two things. He'll be great at pressuring. He's a press guy as well. Really explosive, and then very similar to Ashton. I see a lot of growth in him, physical development, physical growth still. And when you watch him, you're not saying this guy's got to physically get better, but I'm just telling you, he's going to put on 15 pounds being here and be a complete specimen. And so great kid, really sharp, doing the extra work already. See him doing the field work. I think he is as good a corner as you're going to get out of the portal, but moves really well laterally, super long, really physical. Really excited to get him.
His jams are nasty. Like when he gets up on these receivers at the line of scrimmage. Ooh.
Yeah, he plays with confidence. And when you can run a little bit, you can do that and be physical, and you trust your skill set.
Yeah. Okay. Next, this guy, University of Wisconsin Whitewater. PK, Paul Kim, second team all WEAC. He has 2 years remaining. Coach McClinton recruited him to Whitewater.
Yep. Yeah, Mark coached him or recruited him at least and knew about him. We were just tracking him and watching his tape, and he's got really good feet. He's much bigger than you think. I mean, he's almost 6 foot tall. He's 194 pounds. Physical presence, played a lot of football, been productive, played as a true freshman. He's got a really cool story. I mean, he actually grew up in Korea and then moved out here with some family that was in the States and then was going to go back home, but he loved the game of football so much. And there's not a whole lot of football going on out there. So he came back. And so I just look at a guy that completely left. I mean, he hasn't been around his family. I mean, he's given his life to football. And making it. And, those guys tend to work out, but really good hips and great player. And, he gets the pleasure. I think he's roommates with Quentin Christensen in a new apartment. So those two will get close. Now, linemen and corners living together. It's good.
Hold on. Did you say he's rooming with Quentin Christensen?
Yeah. Q's got a funny house. Q's got a good house. He's got Paul Kim and Noah Luganville and Q. So,
oh man,
Colin McShane just told them to make sure they don't leave any food in the fridge. Q's a great roommate, but he may eat your leftovers if they're in there. So
oh goodness. Q's coming home with some good beef though too, so that there's some advantages probably to having him as a roommate.
Yeah, these boys will be down there on the ranch with Q before you know it. He'll probably get him working a cattle show or something.
Yeah, just like Juice, right?
Yeah, so, exactly.
Hey, all right. You picked this guy up today, or at least he announced today. I know he's been around for a bit. But Henry Pickens III, 6'1", 180, Duquesne. I don't understand how this guy was just floating out there. You watch his tape, and he's awesome.
Yeah. We had him on our board for a long time, and we're kind of, you got to let some things sort out every now and then in the portal too. So as we were getting guys, we were being patient with others, and he just kept going back to his film. He just made a lot of plays. He's been productive at this level, definitely. And, the more you talk to him, he's just one of those guys too that's just he's wanted an opportunity. And, he jumped on it right away when we were able to pull the trigger on him. But played a lot of football, means a lot to him. He wants to play at the next level. I think he's got some leadership traits to him, talking to him, and confidence to play the position, to be confident out there. So really excited to be able to get him laid. I was not expecting for him to be available, and it worked out that we ended up having a spot open and a scholarship. So let's get after it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, defensive back from VMI, Amaje Parker. Just again, very, very productive at VMI. And again, it looks like to me he has some flexibility. back there in the secondary.
He does. He's played a lot of corner. I think he can play some field safety for us. In our defense, the field safety's got to be able to cover, very similar to a corner, but be able to tackle. He's got some nickel flex, which is something we wanted to add. I mean, St. Juice did a really good job for us last year playing nickel, but he was really kind of the only guy we were training for that when Van Tol was injured. His reps increased, and we want to play more nickel defense, but it's tough to do when you got one guy that can do it. So I think between Amaje and Noah St. Juice and Miles Green, now you can look at it and say you got three guys that can play anywhere in the secondary, the field triangle. They can play corner, they can play safety, and they can play nickel. And he's just going to allow us to be a ton more versatile, really structured kid, really locked in, already doing extra. He's meshed well, just in the first few workouts and days that he's been here.
Okay, good. Okay, a JUCO All-American here. Noah Luganbill, 6'2", 195, Saddleback Community College. Again, offers from all over the place. This is crazy. 3 to 4 years remaining is what he had on his post. I suppose he has a red shirt, but this guy's awesome. I don't know how else. He's all over the place. That California JUCO, there's some good ball being played there. There's a lot of NFL talent that has come out of that California JUCO. Talk about Noah.
Yeah, Noah's really – just first as a person, really dialed in, pursuing his faith. He's actually, sometimes you get California kids can get a bad rap around here, as I've learned, and Coleman Kuntz has educated our team differently, is not everywhere in California is Malibu Beach. And so when Noah came on his visit, his family was actually like, this Brookings reminds us of our hometown. There's a lot of, ag places in there. Noah likes to hunt and fish and do all those things. But then anyways, as a player, super productive. They played him all over the place. He really was the quarterback, and Saddleback's one of the best junior colleges in California. So to do what he did, he's in the best league on one of the best teams. And again, when he was available, he was one of the first guys that we really recruited and got signed as early as we possibly could. But he'll be able to play either safety position for us. Is kind of where he's going to settle in this year. But he's a playmaker.
Okay. Jack Johnson. I hope we have some banana pancakes ready to play on the stadium speakers after he makes a big play, because this guy loves to hit people. Second team All NSIC, 2 years remaining. You talked about Noah being able to play either position. Jack probably can too, but I just love what he's going to do in the box. If you bring down that strong safety role, man.
Yeah, he's a strong safety. And I mean, man, he came in and looks like $1 million. I mean, he's really well put together, fit kid, moves awesome. Coach Courier out there, when he went into the portal, was like, "Dan, this guy's a no-brainer." And I trust him and played early for him there. He's gonna have flex between strong safety. Probably could play some Sam as well. Because he's going to be a big dude. I got to make sure Coach Morris doesn't put too much weight on him. We got 1 million linebackers right now. I need him to play safety, but I've been really, really impressed with just his no nonsense, get to work, just locked in demeanor. And when you see him strike, I mean, this is South Dakota State football. When you can close space, and whether it's getting into a guy's legs or just completely erasing him from a play, I mean, he could do that, and he's got the skills to cover you too. But yeah, we wanted to continue to upgrade the secondary in all of our positions, and he's going to give you a deal at that strong safety that can fit in the box and also be athletic enough to blitz and cover.
Yep. Okay, let's flip over offensive side of the ball. Quarterback here, Anthony Rizak from Omaha West Side originally. Notre Dame, he spent the last 2 years there. He was the senior season. He's Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year, Max Prep Player of the Year, dual threat it looks like. What can you say about Anthony?
Yeah, he's a winner. He's just he led him to 2 state championships. He's got a twin brother, actually, that was out at Notre Dame and is still there playing linebacker. I'm really close with him. I actually knew his older brother, recruited his older brother to Vanderbilt, and his brother's just now graduating at Vandy. So really cool family, really passionate family. But Anthony in particular, super athlete, really competitive, a high-level processor. He took some tests that he'll have to tell you about, but when he was in high school, is something about like Navy SEAL testing, processing, decision-making, and he would have been in like the top 5% of those guys. And so now we got to get him back in there. He hasn't had college reps and snaps, but he's one of those power 4 guys that I know, and I know what he's made of. in what he's going to be able to do. And for him to have 3 years left is really enticing because he has time to be able to learn and grow in the offense and physically get developed. And I think his fire is just going to be lit again by being counted on, and it wasn't, Notre Dame, say what it is, they're going to bring in 5 stars every year, right, at quarterback and transfers and pay him $5 million. I mean, here he's got an opportunity to shine and do what he does best, and that's compete.
Yep. Okay. You just mentioned Vanderbilt, so good segue here. Cooper Starks, 2 years remaining, offensive lineman. He looks like he wants to fight you or fight me, whoever, in his picture and
fight
stuff.
Anybody.
Yeah, fight anybody. Talk about Cooper.
Yeah, really big kid. I mean, he's going to be 6'5". He was 340 pounds on his visit, and he looks great. He's kind of Nate Adams-ish. I think he's got quick feet, though, as well, and really physical kid. And to me, when I talk to the Vanderbilt defensive line coaches, those are the guys that I talk to is like, hey, man, Dan, yeah, this guy's a problem. I mean, he's blocking our best defensive lineman, and he's being fit, he could do it. I mean, he could be playing for us here in at some point in rotation, and they tend to just go more portal on the offensive line, and that's kind of how they're doing it. But and Coop knew, he and I had a relationship while I was at Vanderbilt, so there's some trust there. And he came up and same thing. Him and his dad, he knew right away this is where he wanted to be. But he's going to be a guy that we expect to make an early impact.
Yep. Okay. Hey, shout out to Nate Adams getting married this weekend. So, friend of the pod, congratulations, Nate, and your bride. So,
big Nate, Coach Bang is down there.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, Jay-Sean Thomas, 6'4", 285, 3 years remaining, 1 year starter at University of Minnesota Duluth. Started all 12 games as a redshirt freshman at tackle for Duluth, the power program.
Yep. Yeah, very athletic. When you watch his tape, he moves really good side to side, and then there's still development there too. And sometimes, again, getting offensive and defensive linemen out of the portal can be a chore, but when you get them at places that they understand South Dakota State football, they know what a big deal this is, and they've played at some of these programs that and you respect, it just gives you confidence as to what they're going to be. So I think he came in at 270 pounds last week, and he's already up to 277. He's going to be a big kid, and be able to play tackle definitely, but he could play inside too. I mean, he could play center. I mean, we teach all the guys how to snap, and so he's got a lot of flex, and I'm proud of him for his. I mean, he's comes from a big family, Milwaukee kid, very self-sufficient, handles his business, awesome student. He's going to fit right in with the offensive line and make some big jumps.
Okay. All right. Speedster from Northeastern State University, Roman McKinney Jr., 2 years remaining. This last year ran for over 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards, 6.6 yards per carry, 15 rushing touchdowns, 35 receptions for 340 yards and 3 TDs. I love this tape. I don't know anything about who he's competing against here, but he just makes plays.
Yeah, and he was a former quarterback that transitioned to running back late, so he hasn't been really playing running back for much of his life. But thing I love about Junior is he's making plays out of the backfield. He's got phenomenal ball skills. We knew we wanted to bring in. I mean, I love bringing in these transfers. Really has nothing to do with the guys that are on our team. It's more of finding ways to accentuate and build depth and get some different type of players. And Junior's a guy that we wanted a back that was going to be able to hit the home run, and he's over a 22-mile-an-hour GPS catapult guy. So he's got the ability to take it the distance and a variance of ways, get him out of the backfield. When you combine him with the backs that we have, with the Begemans and Josiahs and Basingers and Corey Blair Jr.'s got the home run threat to him. And I mean, it's just, you go down the line now, it's really exciting what we've built in that room, and Juniors just gives us a little bit different dynamic in there. But he's been up in Coach Cooper's office every day since he's been here learning the offense. So he's motivated and ready to go.
All right, good. We have a Montana State fan on here that is appreciating your content tonight, Dan.
Let's go. I appreciate them dialing in.
There we go. All right, a recent addition here, wide receiver Eddie Schultz. Really an interesting story, folks, on Eddie. He was originally out of high school, committed to Colorado. Dion came in, and we all know that story. Ended up at Cal Poly, spent a year there. The last 2 years at Portland State. He did some really nice things in 3 games last year for them, but unfortunately got hurt. but you watch these highlights and there's a lot of fun here too.
Yeah, he's played a good amount of football. And again, he's one of these kids that you get in the portal and, for one reason or another, what are you looking for? Well, he wanted a program and culture and structure. And he's just been, when you talk to him, it's not knocking anywhere that he's been, but I mean, he was literally just crying out to be a part of a culture like ours. And so it didn't take long when we had an opportunity and we're able to offer him that spot. He was on an airplane 2 days later, didn't even take a visit. We did our research, Coach Barnum out there, one of his old head coaches, gave him a great recommendation. And so this spring, we have a couple guys that aren't going to be out long, but maybe out a little bit. And we wanted to make sure we had some depth in that room to compete. And it's an unbelievable, talented room that we have, receivers. And Eddie's a really fast guy too. So just getting to know him and haven't got a chance to see him do a ton. He just got cleared, but he's doing everything the right way so far.
Okay. And he went to San Mateo, which, I mean, that's a national program, one of those programs that you see out of high school that may play on ESPN or ESPN2 on a random Friday night. So, he knows what big time football is too.
He does.
Yeah. All right. Special teams. You went into the portal and got a couple special teamers. Justin Lutz, Weber State and Iowa Western Community College, 3 years remaining. He was the snapper for their national championship team at Iowa Western. Why'd you like Justin?
Yeah, I think first we lose KO, who was a long snapper that was, you didn't know that Caden Olivia didn't get a lot of run, but it's good. His snaps were on point. And so we got Carson Strobian on the roster, who's really good, but you got to have somebody to compete with. And I thought Lutz did a really good job in the time that he'd been really accurate. I thought his consistency was there. He's putting the ball in the hip. You can offset your punter and he can get it there to him as well. And he's a guy that we're going to do some things, we can mix it up, whether our long snappers in protection or not. And I thought he has the athletic ability to do that. And then again, to have some years left to be able to get a guy and develop and have him and not be in the portal every year, getting specs is important.
Yep. Okay. And the final piece, you told me right before we went on air, we had another quarterback. Well, let's talk about Tristan Alvano right now. Kicker from Nebraska here, 2 years of eligibility. Booted a 55-yarder as a true freshman, I believe.
Definitely. Yeah, so Tristan's from the same high school as Anthony Rizak. I've known that head coach for a long time and worked for him, Paul Lamanji. And so Tristan, I followed in high school. He actually hit him a game winner from at least 50 at the high school level. He's one of the top-rated kickers coming out of high school. Played as a true freshman and was really having a good career. He had some injuries, that he ended up not being diagnosed correctly or just however it went. He needed to take some time off to get himself healthy. And then, then Nebraska has to go do what they need to do and get a guy and those things. And so he's completely healthy now, kicking the ball as well as he's ever done before. And again, he's just one of those guys. He is so talented. I mean, he's going to be able to, not just the long field goals, but from 40 and in, he's money. He's got a lot of experience, as well. You've kicked in front of 100,000 people. I'm not worried about, the pressure getting to him. So he's a great get and, super excited about him, especially having a couple years.
Awesome. Well, good. Hey, you want to talk about the last quarterback?
Yeah. Yep. Josh Holst. Josh Holst was the starter at Northern Illinois last year to begin the season. I actually, recruited one of my last recruiting stops when I was at NIU was to Josh's high school and got a chance to see him. And there was just something about him that I felt really confident in, that he was a winner. And he was kind of a tall, skinny kid at that point. He's filled out now, super athlete, and was looking for a fresh start. And, wasn't even necessarily planning on taking another QB, but some things going on that made us feel like, Josh was a guy to come in and make sure that in that room, when you look at that room now, you got Chase, and you've got, Henny back there that's proven to be able to be a winner and get it done and keep growing. And now the competitiveness with Thuy in there and getting healthy and Anthony and Josh. I mean, that's one of the stronger rooms on the entire team now, which is, obviously, a year ago, we needed to make sure that we did a good enough job to get guys ready to go. And now the competition will be really high and we'll be dialed in.
Yep, definitely. Well, Dan, this has been a blast. Again, like I said, this is one of my favorite episodes, all that we do every year. I'm so glad you're back to talk about these guys. This is awesome.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Chad, come on screen here quick if you want.
Pop that screen on.
Yeah. Chad,
What's up?
Thank you for getting all those videos up, man. That was awesome. That
I had to watch a lot of T-Mobile commercials. I think Coach will understand. Wow. I don't know if you have to watch commercials.
No, you guys, I'll send you my password next time, so then you can bypass all those vaping and T-Mobile commercials that pop up there on the huddle.
Pretty terrible.
Right. Awesome.
There's a reason that people pay for their huddle subscriptions. That's probably the main one.
Wait,
Jay, watch those ads.
We may need to do that next year.
You guys crushed it. I appreciate all your hard work, what you guys do for Jackrabbit Nation, what our guys love your content. And to me, yeah, at the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing, when other people see your value and they care about it and they put their own hard work into it and don't expect anything in return means a lot. So what Jack Illustrated has done over the years and the growth is awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Dan. Stay on. We got our annual conversation afterwards quick. So, all right. And with that, go big, go blue, go Jack.